Welcome to another episode of the Urban Wall Street Project. I'm your host, Earl Christian III, of course. And today is an amazing show for all my young people, my older people, my parents, teachers, administrators. We're talking about college education. We're talking about financing it. We're talking about sources for students, getting your hustle up. I have the pleasure of introducing you to my brother, who's the author of Hustle, How to Get College Cash by Using Your Street Smarts. Without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Paul Anthony Rivers.
How you doing?
Brother. Welcome to the show.
Thanks
Glad
for that.
to have you.
Yes.
You are the author of a book and content that's near and dear to me because I'm all about financial literacy. That's what the Urban Wall Street is about.
Yes.
Definitely college because it's essential in our lives, and then how to finance it. It just doesn't get any better than that. So I want to go right in. And first I want to talk, what inspired you, my brother, to write this book?
Well, just to get a little foundation of myself,
Yes,
I
sir.
grew up in the South Bronx. I was in a situation where economically I didn't have enough money to pay for my education. My parents didn't have the money as well. So I eventually went on to college and figured out how I can maximize off of financial aid opportunities. And when I did, when I graduated, I accumulated over $30,000, and my public education only cost me $9,000, which means that I accumulated 3 times as much, what my total education cost.
Right.
And I walked away with $16,000 in my pocket.
Oh man, that's
Yes,
a
no
beautiful
question.
situation.
Yes.
Now, that's a great situation. Now, you're from the South Bronx. Did you went to school in the South Bronx?
Right.
Did you always have aspirations of writing a book that would help other individuals maximize their life and become college educated through using their street smarts?
No, not at all. In fact, when I went to high school, when I graduated, my grade point average was a D+. So my thoughts of getting a college education at that time, was far-fetched. Although I was an athlete, I played basketball, and I thought getting the basketball scholarship was going to happen, but it didn't happen because in my senior year, I quit the basketball team because we were losing.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, but my mind was still set on doing something for myself.
Right.
And when you grow up in the hood, there's only not that many avenues you can take. And going the opposite way wasn't an option. I had to go get a college education.
No question. And like I said, when you reached out to me about the show and coming on the show and talking about it and really bringing some information to people, it was definitely near and dear because several years ago I had started an e-business online where I was helping people I was a college grant consultant. That's
Right.
what it was. It was a college grant consulting, and I would do the research. Grab the thick books that you see on late night TV and all the work people didn't want to do. Now, I did the work for a nominal fee and directed people to a lot of opportunities for them, so it was great. Now, I know you kind of started similarly. What was your beginning and your introduction into becoming a financial consultant or a college consultant that you are right now?
Okay, well, with my experience in college, by me accumulating so much money and my major was business, I always wanted to start my own business. So 2 years after I graduated from college, I stumbled on this opportunity of becoming a scholarship search consultant, and that's how I started doing scholarship searches. Got a software, got a computer, and I started doing scholarship searches for students that was interested in getting money to pay for college.
Right. Now, what a beautiful thing about it is I was looking in this chapter, and there's several chapters in here, and one particularly, I was looking at it, read through them and looking at the different topics, but I went to chapter, I think it was chapter 27, because it began on chapter 27. 56 hustles to get your cash. So I was like, okay, this is what I'm talking about, because everybody want to know how can I get some paper, a little bit of extra money to try to maximize my time in college and then finance my college education and just have some money in my pocket without working 1,000 jobs. And one thing that was really poignant to me, because one of the things that I did was become a barber. Investing in shears or clippers, plus learning the basic grooming skills will encourage students to pay you for your haircuts. And at college, Howard University, I was Earl the Barber.
Wow.
So I look at this like, wow, that was definitely one of your outside the box.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people don't realize, you dig into your TAP, your Pell Grants, your student loans, and you definitely, cover those without question.
Exactly.
But those are like, the basics. That's like the ABCs. Now let's go to the next. Where's that outside money, that quiet money?
Right, exactly.
That unspoken money. And it's a variety of different hustles that you have in here, and I really appreciate some of them. Just from our audience, a couple of them. Recycle cans. Don't be too proud. There's a lot of nickels out there. If you saw, because I tell the people, I'm not recycling cans. If you saw 20 nickels on the street, would you pick them up? Sure. Then why wouldn't you do that for cans if it can help you? Let's not be too proud. Pride goes before the fall. So I appreciate that one. Tutoring, hosting parties.
That's right.
when I was in school, Howard University had a reputation of being a party school. But it wasn't so much Howard that hosted the parties, it was more so the individuals who were entrepreneurial spirited that hosted parties outside of campus. And what was it for? That outside the box money to help maximize that housing and things of that nature. Where'd you come up with these 56 hustles that were outside of the, well, these 56 hustles and the ones outside the box? What made you target these in particular?
Well, because some of those things that was happening on the college campus as well, you know, and what's going on today, the traditional route of getting funding for college, you know, is shrinking. So now you got to be more creative and think outside the box, you know, to cover that gap. You know, instead of just focus on getting loans, you want to focus on getting other monies to cover that gap. So I came up with the concept of utilizing all these different things outside the box to get you cash. That's a non-traditional approach, and that's how I put that together, so students can focus on other avenues to get a free education.
Definitely. And now the beautiful thing about the different hustles is a lot of them, you know, they're talking about things that anybody could do.
Exactly.
You know, it's
That's
not
right.
like you, and it's not going to take a whole lot of time from your studies and things of that nature. Network marketing.
That's right.
Is, you know, it's a great way just to become familiar with just your whole financial literacy in general, the residual and passive income, because that's definitely the foundation for the Urban Wall Street Project. Doing hair, just shoveling snow, dog walking, becoming a DJ. It's so public assistance. Now here's something. I definitely, this one's struck because I wish I had known, because you know, I'm from the South Bronx.
That's
My
right.
people didn't have it. They worked hard to make sure I got into college. You know, bless you, Mom, I love you to death. Pops. But you know, I didn't know this, but apply for public assistance so you can live off campus and let welfare pay your rent. Now, people need to realize, oh, welfare, I don't want to do welfare. There's a reason. Welfare, let's split that in half. Do you want to fare well? If you want to fare well in your life, take advantage of the opportunities. I wish I had known that, because I'm sure I would have qualified for some money and wouldn't have had to have 3 jobs. Now, I want to ask you this, as a college you know, grant researcher and financial consultant to individuals, what's, I would say, the top 3 misconceptions, or I should say mistakes or misdirections you get from individuals when they reach out to you for your services?
Well, one of the things, they think they can't get monies for college. They don't think there's enough money out there for them. That's one of the misconceptions. 2, you have some students and parents, you know, not aware of the amount of resources that they could take advantage of.
Right.
You know, and what I basically try to do is direct them and expose them to the number of various scholarships and various types of funding that's out there. 3, a lot of students and parents could do it themselves if they're serious about getting the information, applying principles to take advantage of what's available out there.
Excellent. Now, I want to talk about one thing. You says, chapter 1 says mindset. And that's a very important thing, because before we can change our lives, whether it be from a social perspective or relationships or financial, your mindset has to be on the path that's conducive for that prosperity. So when you speak, it's the thought that counts. What are you speaking to, brother?
Well, you know, to secure monies for college, you know, your mindset is the most important step in setting the foundation to getting monies for college. In fact, Susie Orman, the wealth expert, says what we have begins with what we think. So that is the key in developing the proper mindset to put yourself in a position to maximize on financial aid opportunities before you even understand the financial aid process. Your mind has to be set on a monetary goal before you even understand any other steps.
Okay, so now somebody comes to you, 17-year-old student, 18-year-old student with their mom, and you know, never had a consultant, not versed in the area of financial literacy. What's the first things that you suggest to them?
Well, the first thing I do, I ask them questions about their background, because that's the key thing. Because in order to qualify for financial aid, it's based on your income, assets, family size, and what school you're going to attend. Once I get that information, then I can make a determination what type of funds they can qualify for.
Okay. Now, have you ever been in a situation where you're telling individuals you can qualify this, and there's still resistance is like serious?
Sure. I mean, yeah. A lot of times when you're not familiar with the financial aid process, you know, people can become skeptical about, you know, how the system works.
Right.
So that's why simply what I try to do is explain to them step by step, you know, how they can position themselves to get the most money possible.
Now I love this one, mad money. Because it's like show me the money, and,
That's
and
right.
for my people at home, I'm just hitting certain topics because there are all these. I mean, every chapter is here is serious, and I'm sure a lot of people will take advantage of this because I'm telling you, if college is in your future, which it should be, and financing colleges is in your future, which it most definitely probably is, you're gonna need this. I'm looking at this almost like a collegiate Bible,
Right.
for real, for real. But I want to talk about this next particular section, mad money. Now, I remember as a kid, my mother said, you keep a little bit of mad money, a little $20 in your sock or something. But from this perspective, from my people watching, what do you refer to as mad money?
Well, mad money, especially in the hip hop community, it refers to a lot of money. In fact, Jim Cramer, who's recognized at NBC as a hedge financial, he's known in the financial world as a very successful person on Wall Street. He used the term mad money with his show. And what I wanted to explain to them that mad money, there's a lot of money out there.
Right.
And what I do is I categorize all the resources in that chapter to show them where the money is.
Right. Now, I went to the website, after we spoke on the telephone, because it's all about credibility. Let me go see if, the brother's really, helping some folks. And of course, I like to just take people's word at first value, but doing what I do, I can't just, sure, it's good. And what I was very pleased to see is not so much just the website there, because we can all have a website. We can say that we've helped people, but the testimony, there were a plethora of testimonials, and not just people where it would seem contrived, like you got five
Right.
people that write something that sounds
Right.
good. These are people that actually from different parts of the country,
Exactly.
and they actually were able to show their, what do we call it, their budget sheets or their their rewards packages. How does it feel when you're able to find somebody $10,000, $15,000, $3,000
Right.
when they thought there wasn't $50 for them?
Well, the thing is, all it does is encourage me, motivates me to go out there to do more. In fact, those students that I put on my website were students who had a very difficult time getting funding. And I wanted to work with those students and families that was a challenge to me to get that type of money. So when we did succeed, I said, all you have to do is explain to those who are skeptical about the service, what did I do for you, and present the documentation to show how much money that I got for you.
Yes, and the documentation is there. If you go to the site, trust me, you will see the documentation. You will see those reward letters and like, okay, this is a serious situation. And it's amazing that we're talking about it because about 2 months ago, I have a young producers program, and I was working in the school, and one of the teachers whose class I was facilitating the program with, she came to me because she knows I talk about financial literacy, and here her daughter's going to Howard, 4th generation, and she makes over $50,000. She's in Titty Six. She makes over $50,000, maybe $60,000. And just say, I told her I'm not gonna get any money. Now, off top, I told her, well, if it's about financial aid, the FAFSA, yes, $50,000, $60,000. You're probably not gonna get any aid. There's loans, but there's other money out there, but do that research. So say someone comes to you, because there's a lot of people out there that's in that, what we think is middle income, but let me be clear, middle income in America is $75,000 to $125,000. So if you're making under $75,000, you're low income. Sad to bust your bubble, but it is what it is. But for that person who may only make $50,000 and can't satisfy the requirements to get a Pell Grant or a TAP Grant or whatever it is from their particular city, what's some of the best resources you think they should start with first? Outside of your book, of course.
Well, normally what I would do is, again, what I mentioned earlier, once I get an assessment of a family situation, the income, assets, and family size, you still can develop strategies for them to get need-based aid, although their income is at a higher level. For example, if a person making $100,000 a year, and they come to me early enough, what I can do is say, listen, why don't you get a business, a small business, And with a small business, what you can do is, write things off to lower your income.
Yes.
Because getting financial aid is based on your adjusted gross income and not your income itself, your wages. So if I can decrease her income to a certain level, then they could qualify for need-based aid. And that's the first thing I would do. And then outside of that, I'll look at other avenues, colleges, private scholarships, even military funding, things that they can take advantage of if they want to utilize those resources to pay for an education.
Okay. Now this book right here, it's a nice, easy read. I know you were talking off camera earlier, and you said it was about about 400 pages.
Right.
We've definitely gotten rid of 75% of that, but consolidated into just an amazing package. I mean,
Right,
an amazing,
exactly.
amazing package. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say it because you're on the show. This is really a great, great investment tool for any person. How long were you putting this book together? How long was the process?
Well, it took me about 3 years, you know, putting all the information together, doing a lot of research. And like you said, you know, when you're dealing with financial aid, there's always changes. But the thing is, anytime you're dealing with finance, people get bored with it. So what I try to do is make it concise, you know, get rid of the fluff, get rid of the bluff, and give them real stuff.
Right.
Very simple, easy reading so they can understand it, so they can go over it and over again if they don't understand certain chapters. You know, and once they get the full understanding, and then they can go on and apply those principles, you know, to take advantage of whatever financial aid opportunities that are out there.
Right. Now, I definitely want to, speak briefly to this particular area because I, at once, about 10 years ago, no, maybe a little bit more than that, about 10, 12 years ago, I was an admissions counselor for a college. So, I would, have to go look at their finances and direct them to the financial aid office or read the transcripts and see what transferred over, how much they would have to spend. And a lot of people, definitely wanted to satisfy their bachelor's degree. They wanted to accomplish that. And they wanted their graduate degree as well, that master's degree. But we know that that master's degree is generally making me more than an undergraduate. So people would stop. Undergraduate might cost more over the course of 4 years, but graduate could be $30,000, $40,000 for 1 year. So a lot of people would not go because where there was seemingly more money at the undergraduate level, the pot seemed to diminish greatly when it came to finding graduate aid. What would you say to individuals who's looking for some graduate money? Where would you direct them?
Well, first and foremost, a student that has a bachelor's degree, they are in a position to finance their own education because they have a degree. That's first and foremost. You can go out there and make some money. Right. Two, you have assistantships. You have scholarships from private corporations. You have scholarships from the college itself. And what you have to do, you have to put all those things together. You have employers. Let's say you get a job working for a particular company. That company may finance your graduate education.
Right.
So the thing is, you have to be strategic in terms of how you position yourself. Get the right information, and then go out there and get the funding for college.
And what you just said is key, because I remember I learned this when I became an admissions counselor. I did not know it when I was in college, and I'm sure many of my colleagues probably didn't know either. And just about all colleges and universities have an endowment fund, right? And an endowment fund, how I understood it, and if I'm inaccurate, you can correct me, but how I understood it was, or plainly was, this is money that alumni give back to the school, whether it's different schools, if it's university, the different colleges, or if it's a college, give back to the school for individuals who have a certain grade point average or meet a certain academic requirement or financial requirement. And it's there, but that's definitely that quiet money, that hush money, because no one tells you about that financial. When you're sitting with that financial aid counselor, no one said, well, they do TAP, Pell, and then student loans. That's the third one.
Right.
No one even remotely said, well, let's see, Howard University has a lot of people that have graduated in communications that are successful. We have an endowment fund that could possibly provide you some money. Talk about that endowment fund that people need to look into.
Well, the thing is, in one of the chapters, I talk about college aid, all the resources that are available. And I list all the universities and colleges that show the amount of the endowment money that they have.
Right.
I got the historical black colleges, and I have, the white universities.
Right, I believe.
In fact, I list Harvard University. They have over $35 billion to give out to those students.
$35 billion? In endowments.
Endowment money.
Wow.
And it's growing. And it's growing. And the thing is, these are the key things we need to focus on. Look at all the different avenues they can take advantage of. But you have to have the information. Once you have the information, then you got to put your hustle on and go out there and get it.
Now here it is. Why do you think Paul, I'm going to Miller Anthony, Paul, my cousin's name is Anthony, Paul Anthony, why do you think it's so hard for people to get the information that they need? Why is there so many people from urban America or other countries as well, because we're all over the world, and people are trying to finance their education no matter what walk of life or what country they're from? Why is it so hard for people to find that information? Because we hear it all the time. The money's out there, billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Right.
I remember, and I'm answering the question, 1 year was $7.7 billion was available in aid. 400 million was given away. But that left still almost $7 billion in money untapped. Why is it so hard for the individuals who really need it to tap into that money?
Because I think what happens is when they go to high school, their guidance counselors a lot of times are not exposed to the information, or they might be bombarded, working with the most talented students, and they're not able to give out that information. That's one. And two, a lot of the guidance counselors in high schools are not properly trained on financial aid. So the first time a student get out of high school, their first contact is at a college. But unfortunately, when you work at a college, the colleges are not there to give you all this information to get the money from them. And believe me, I know that because I worked at 3 colleges myself in the financial aid department. Their goal is not to give you as much money as possible.
Amazing.
Their goal is just to make sure they package you so you can attend there. You're supposed to come there with the information already.
And now, when you said you come with information and you spoke to something here a lot, and I've seen people do this, people need to realize your college education, to me, you as far as the package, you can hustle and negotiate seemingly the same way you do down on Canal Street. Most students, outside of myself, I applied to Howard. Like, that's where I'm going. Right. I didn't even think about other ones. I was like, that's where I think I'm supposed to be. Most students apply to several colleges.
Right.
And there are some people who are smart enough. I've spoken to some students who, well, this school is offering me $20,000.
Right.
What you offering? This offering me 10. And some people know that they can go and negotiate and let the administrator know, this is what I'm offering. I would like to come here, but, talk to me because this is what they're giving me. What do you say to those individuals?
Well, in fact, in my practice, that's what I do. When students come in and we start applying for a number of schools for their financial aid, what happens is they get these award letters, and we look at the award letters and we discuss what particular school that interests you the most, right? If that school is not giving you more money, they're saying school A, then what we can do is we can negotiate with the other schools to give you more money. Right. And that's what we can do. We can show how much financial aid you're getting from school A, so you can take advantage of financial resources at school B. And I think what people don't really understand, colleges and universities are a business first.
Right.
Then they are an institution of learning. Because
Yes.
there's no way you're going to attend any college without paying to go.
That's the truth. Now, some person say, well, I don't understand the haggle. What reason would a college have say, listen, I want to come here, you charge $30,000, I only have, $20,000. This school is offering me $22,000, but I really would like to come here. What's this college incentive to say, well, if they're offering you $22,000, then we'll give you $25,000, and then you can come up with the other $5,000. What would be their incentive to try to match or outsource a prior college or another option that you're thinking of?
Okay, you just take an example for a student that qualified for the maximum federal aid, state aid, and various scholarships. What happens is when a college see that, that amount of money is consistent throughout all the schools. Now, if the key thing what a college want to do, that's free money they can get from that student, So in order to lure that student to come to their school, they'll throw a scholarship in. See, but that scholarship that they're giving to the student is their money anyway.
Right.
So in other words, their goal is to get the federal monies, the state monies from those students that qualify for that. They throw in their scholarship, which is their money, just to lure them. So that's why you're able to negotiate with a lot of these colleges, especially if you qualify for a certain amount of federal and state funding.
So definitely you would suggest, listen, no matter what your package is, if you get accepted to 5 schools, congratulations.
Right.
You definitely say, okay, well, let's talk money. What are you offering? Because this school's offering this. Now, I'm sure, and I got a couple of minutes, I'm sure you have to provide documents. So would you have to send 5 different, if you got packages from 5 schools, send them all your award letters?
No, you don't necessarily have to do that. I mean, you can just pretty much go on the phone and just talk to the financial aid administrator at the school and explain to them how you're packaged. And pretty much they understand how other schools package students.
Right.
And pretty much once you put that out there, you make a decision. If they say they can't approve your award letter, then you go somewhere else.
Okay. Now, before we get out of here, Paul, top 3 things, in 30 seconds you give me, the 3 things students should be prepared for, what they should look for, parents included, when they get ready to start their financing their college education, what they need to handle.
Well, number one thing, they need to have their finance in order. In order to apply for financial aid, you need to have your tax information, your income information. 2, you need to know what particular school you're interested in going. Find out what type of resources are at that school before you even apply, because you don't want to shortchange yourself if you apply to a school that doesn't have the money that's there. Three, make sure you get the proper information, the proper guidance. Get help from your guidance counselor, get help from the financial administrator at the college, get help from a financial consultant like myself, so you can be prepared to get the most money possible from the school that you're interested in.
Beautiful. My brothers and sisters at home, hustle, how to get college class by using street smarts and using your mind. Take advantage. Your college future, your college education is your greatest asset. It will become your greatest asset. May not be easy to finance it, but I guarantee you, if you take advantage of the suggestions in this book and the lessons in this book, you will be successful. I want to thank my guest, Mr. Paul Anthony Rivers, for bringing this knowledge to the show and bringing it to my people. As I always say, I want you to be mindful, stay prosperous, stay focused, stay committed to yourself and your dream, and you can accomplish it. Anything the Urban Wall Street Project can do, you keep watching, because we're going to bring you the knowledge, and we're going to continue to educate you and entertain you at the same time. Be mindful, be prosperous, stay focused. As I always say, I cannot reiterate it enough. Until next time, peace. Are you ready for a career in television? Are you ready to get your feet wet into production? Are you interested in being a field correspondent for the Urban Wall Street Project? Now that the Urban Wall Street Project is going international all throughout Europe, we want to get people and give them an opportunity to get their game up and do what I do. Send me your bio, send me your email, send me your pictures, send some clips. You want to definitely get in contact with me, info@urbanwallstreet.tv. We're right down here in Wall Street right now, doing some things, doing some shoots, but I need some soldiers. I need some people that's out here that want to get it. If you graduate from college, you're in college, and you're in New York, reach out to me at urbanwallstreet.tv. Send an email to info@urbanwallstreet.tv. Let me know your name, let me know your dreams, your aspirations. We can make it happen. Peace.